calling it live from Salt Lake because you're technically even closer to the Salt Lake than I am.
I can smell the Salt Lake probably if I went outside. Sometimes I can. So
there we go. Live from Salt
count it.
Lake.
Count it.
If you can smell it, you're there.
It's our motto. Utah.
If you can smell it, you know how far north you are. I'm in the lake zone.
Okay, you start us off.
With what? Oh, yeah. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Wait, do you want to do a quick run through?
Nope.
Intro, news, kudos.
Yeah.
Don't game devs, reindeer game. Okay. Guess we're just going to do it.
Let's do it.
Fuck it. Do it live. There's something wrong with my throat. I don't know what's going on back there. Come.
You can't start like that.
You're never going to get through this.
Okay.
You're fucked. Is it just me, or did we just suddenly stop doing dinosaurs for some reason?
You're so stupid. You gotta give me like 30 seconds.
Okay, get a grip. You're the Jimmy Fallon of this podcast.
You can't just throw out a random joke right before. Oh gosh.
Just warming you up. I just expect you to be professional.
Well, I'm not. You know better.
I'm immature, and cum jokes are really good for me.
All right, here we go.
Is it me, or did we just suddenly stop doing dinosaurs for some reason?
Screw you, JD. All right.
Glad I'm starting.
I was like, I got this. And then right when you started talking, I was like, I don't got it. Okay, now I'm good. Now I'm good for real.
I have an exercise. You start with your line, and then I'll do my line. Then you're going to do your line again.
What do you mean? Oh, we're not doing that. Okay, we'll do it normal.
Is it me, or did we just suddenly stop doing dinosaurs for some reason?
What do you mean?
Just feels like we had hella dinosaur stuff for basically my entire life. Then over the past few years, nada. No new shows, no new movies, no new stories about cool new fossils with a million teeth. Nothing.
I don't know. Maybe it's because the last few Jurassic Park movies sucked so hard.
That's a good point. I mean, whatever it is, I think we got to bring it back.
Us? How? You want to make a dinosaur movie?
Yeah, let's try to stay in our wheelhouse, buddy. Maybe start with a dinosaur video game podcast.
So we do a podcast only about dinosaur video games.
I mean, I guess. Wikipedia says there's over 200 of them.
Well, it's not like the podcast can get any dumber.
This is a good roar.
Do the roar.
You just logged into the 3-Bit Gamer Roar. Welcome to the 3-Bit Gamer Show. I'm JD.
This is Peterson.
And get ready for us to lay a big egg.
We're not even doing a dinosaur themed episode this week either.
Nothing to do with dinosaurs.
JD thought of dinosaurs,
More
which is funny.
Point. This is exactly what my point is.
Which is nothing with dinosaurs. Maybe,
yeah,
dude. Maybe everything's cyclical. So like, give it a couple years and like everything will be dinosaurs again. Which is funny though, because my daughter was just reading a pile of books about dinosaurs right now. And she was.
Do they have feathers now for the kids?
You know what? Those books look old enough that they don't, but every picture I see now has feathers on the dinosaurs. So like, I don't know. They look less scary when they're big birds. I mean, birds can be scary, I guess, but
slightly less scary. But when I heard it explained that the raptors, for example, would use their feathers for balance, to stay balanced on top of their prey as they shredded it open, so they couldn't shake it off their backs. And then I'm like, oh, feathers are actually fucking terrifying. I see.
Yeah, no, feathers. Yeah, I could see that helping with that. And honestly, they probably just still look just as terrifying. Like, I mean, top 5 animals I'm scared of. One of them is a Canadian goose. So,
Yeah,
I
and
don't
think
know.
about those death birds, like those cassowaries. They have pretty feathers. They have like pretty plumage.
Yeah,
Shred you out right open.
they don't care. Cassowaries
Claws the
don't
size
care.
of a Twinkie.
Live from the 3-Bit Gamer Show. The news.
All right. Our news this week and every week, just every single week. Just count on it. We're not getting a new sponsor. Look,
we
I
don't
know-
even want a new sponsor. People have reached out and we're like, are you from Crave Cookies? And like, no, we're like, get out.
get out.
Get the F.
Look, guys, some context. I've known Trent since the day I was born. Trent was born, and then 2 weeks later, on the day I was born,
And Trent
it
was in
like,
the hospital.
and he just comes waddling down, and he just leans on my crib, and he's like, welcome to the fucking show.
And he cut the umbilical cord.
And that was it. And Trent and I were off to the races. So yeah, no, we're not getting another cookie sponsor. Sorry, folks. This one's dyed in blood. What
Wow.
the fuck are we talking about? Oh yeah, Crave Cookies.
Crave.
See, you guys you don't expect it, and then it comes out of nowhere. Just sneaks up on you. So Crave Cookies, we are blessed to be able to reveal to you the sneak peek of the week for Crave Cookies. You know, when Crave gets big enough that they IPO, I think there will be stock traders that are like watching listening to our podcast.
Absolutely.
Because they're like, oh, every week that he releases like this hot cookie, the stock price for Crave goes up half a point.
Guess what? Insider trading.
This
going
is
to
it.
happen.
We are prepping for this is cover your ass stuff though, because we're going to be like, we've been doing it for like 5 years. We're not doing insider trading.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah,
We
JD,
are-
why'd you sell a bunch of stock this week? Why is he releasing I don't know, whatever the bad cookie is?
I just like the idea of our podcast, like our screen just upgrading behind us. All the stuff's just getting gold trim, real shiny.
This slowly getting like a little bit more posh.
So our insider trading for Crave Cookies allows us to know which cookies coming out. Not this week. If you go to cravecookies.com, you'll see the cookies that are available to you right now. But on Thursday or Friday, the menu switches over because it's a new menu every week. And we will tell you what it's going to switch over to this week. So you can be very excited for it. This week, they're getting off to a good start with Trent's favorite. This is like Trent's most stubborn thing. Trent has taken some stands in the time that he's run this business, but this one is up there. The chocolate pistaffi.
Oh,
There was some blowback on this cookie that it sounded like pissed off, like a pissed off cookie. And Trent was like, no, I'm not changing it. It's the pistaffi. It's the chocolate pistaffi. It's the chocolate pistachio toffee cookie. But it's also Trent's pride and joy right there. He's like, that's the name. That's what it is.
honestly, I think it's a great name. I'm with Trent on this one. I love the name of it. I don't care if it pisses people off. Pun intended.
We let him get away with changing the better than sex cake, and we keep letting him push and push. They'll be naming all our cookies Puritans. The next one up is the cookies and milk. I can't remember. That one did not have. We talk about this. We're like, oh, did it have condensed milk? We didn't fucking know.
Oh yeah,
But then we figured it out. Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we definitely
had this
Trent
discussion
needs to
before.
get on that. It's like, do you want the cookie milk style? Dipper style is what they'd call it, and they serve it in the little plastic thing and they pour condensed milk on it. Any cookie with condensed milk is good.
Yeah.
Name one that's not. Do it.
I can't. It's impossible. Don't put me on the
Impossible.
spot like that. Next up, the lemon bar, also a caramel.
Okay, wait. The
snickerdoodle.
lemon bar might be a little rough with a little bit of milk on it. Okay, you got me on the next one.
Lemon milk. The caramel snickerdoodle, if you guys remember, our favorite tongue twister.
Oh
cookie.
yeah.
And then finally the chilled Oreo. It's a loaded week this week. If you guys check cravecookies.com, there might be one nearby. You might be surprised because they're just dropping new ones every week. I talked to Trent. He's like, yep, there's another one opening up on Sunday. So get on down to Crave Cookies and get your cookie on. Embracer Group is exploring options for selling off Gearbox Entertainment.
Wait,
So if you guys remember,
wasn't it not that long ago that they
yeah,
bought
they bought
Gearbox?
they bought Gearbox in 2021 for 1.3 billion, and at the time, I believe they were the largest indie studio remaining in the world. But before they were purchased, so this is they've owned them less than 3 years at this point, and they're like, how can we unload them? Funny thing though, Embracer shares are up on the news of them exploring these. I guess they have interested parties, which doesn't surprise me. I really think Gearbox is probably being scouted out. If I'm being honest, what do you think? Because I think it's Ubisoft.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Perfect fit with Borderlands and the other
would be a good fit.
Yeah, kind of how they make their games. And the fact that they're kind of run by weird dirtbags like Randy Pitchford.
Yeah.
I think Randy Pitchford fits in great with the Guillermo.
He probably
bros.
hangs out with Ubisoft guys on the regular. No, but come on. Are you? I can't believe you're even bringing that up. It's Microsoft. We know it's Microsoft. So
It's everyone. Yeah, Microsoft's like, yeah, we'll buy these guys. That would be.
You're selling. Who's selling? We're buying.
Hey, who's selling? Who's selling? We got mad cash. Yeah. So I think the fact that Embracer is looking to sell one of the larger things that they've picked up recently, and it's such a recent acquisition, I think they're kind of like open doors right now. They're like, everything must go. Anything that anyone will buy, they will sell. They will sell anything at this point, which does not really make me feel super great about the future of literally any of the properties that they own and are managing.
I'm super stoked that they own
Everything.
Lord of the Rings. So
Lord of the Rings, Tomb Raider. I mean, a lot of these properties. I mean, Lord of the Rings, like whatever, just wait it out. It'll go into public domain and it's going to get the Lovecraft treatment in a couple decades. It's going to be sweet, by the way. We're going to get like so much fucking Lord of the Rings shit.
I mean, we've already stolen so much from it anyways. Like orcs are from Lord of the Rings, and it's like, oh yeah, everyone does orcs.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's already there.
So that's not a huge deal. Tomb Raider's a little sad, but yeah, I think we were on this podcast. I mea culpa. I do think we kind of couched our excitement that they were just injecting cash into a lot of these studios. But we were like, oh yeah, it's kind of cool that they're just like. The problem is they're putting all your eggs in one basket, and then they put all their eggs in the Saudi basket, which is a weird basket to.
And I guess when they were buying all the stuff, I just figured they had income, and it turns out that they don't. They were trying to buy income, I think, from nothing. So
what did Trent say? You got to spend money to lose money.
Got to spend money to lose money. That's my motto when I gamble.
That is the motto of Embracer Group and so many video game executives.
Yeah.
The new iPhone 15 will apparently be able to run AAA games natively, ray tracing and all. This is crazy. This is also it doubles as a hand warmer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you freezing? Are you stuck, stranded somewhere, freezing? And can you charge your phone? Because you will be warm. You got a tent cooking. If you have a generator, the generator won't keep you warm. This phone will.
You've seen those little advice articles that they put out, especially in the wintertime when there's like blizzards and shit. They're like, here are things to do if your car gets trapped in the snow. They've actually added this. They're like, if you have an iPhone 15, maybe play a new game with ray tracing, and it will actually just heat up your car to the point that it'll just melt its way out of the snow, and you can just drive away.
Don't, just like Las Vegas in the 90s. Don't leave any cassette tapes out because they will melt. Yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah. So don't play in a room that has like butter out because it'll just melt it. This is the new iPhone 15 Pro. It starts at a cool $1,000. So at first I was impressed by this, that they talked about, let's see, the games are Resident Evil 4, that remake they just are releasing, the Resident Evil Village, and Death Stranding, they're all coming out this year, and Assassin's Creed Mirage is expected in the first half of next year. And I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking impressive. But then I'm like, for $1,000, yeah, my phone better do that. My phone better do a lot of shit for $1,000. That's 2 Xboxes, bitch.
Why don't
What
you
the fuck?
just keep your current phone and buy a new GPU, and you'll be able to play those games as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's the price of a nice GPU. Now,
Maybe
That's fucking
maybe it
crazy.
comes with a GPU, you just plug into it.
Well, I guess it kind of does. It has 128 gigs of storage and features a 6.1 Super Retina XDR display. But the beefy thing that's powering this whole thing is the A17 Pro chip with 6-core GPU. So yeah, I guess it has a fat GPU in it. I don't know who's
Your phone
asking
is
for
the
this.
size of a
Yeah.
GPU.
Well, the Pro is huge. The fucking iPhone Pro, the 15 Pro is like it's like a small tablet.
It's like a Nintendo Switch.
I love that it's like no one's questioning the size of the phones as they get bigger because everyone's pockets are getting bigger, because everyone's pants are getting bigger, because everyone's getting fatter.
Oh,
So it's like our phones aren't really getting bigger disproportionate to the pocket size of the average American. So no one's really bitching about it.
yeah. We're totally fine with it. My pockets are huge. I could fit a phone in there. I could fit.
Me, I have to get a satchel. My phone goes in like an Indiana Jones style.
Oh, is that why fanny packs are coming back?
Yep, fanny packs are phones because they don't go in pockets.
I get
Certainly not in women's pockets.
I didn't
of
know. Now I do.
any pants that women can wear. But yeah, this iPhone 15, they're like, well, if you're going to be carrying around an iPad in your pocket, maybe you can play some video games on it. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You see the I saw the display of it, so it's like there's like basically your phone is featured, like the bottom half of your phone's like an invisible controller kind of a deal going on down there.
Although I
I
do not like touch control.
Never going to be comfortable. It's never going to be an enjoyable experience. I'm okay with the ones that have like the controllers that snap on the phone or slide on the sides. Those are kind of cool. But at that point, I'm like, shouldn't I just have a Switch?
Yeah,
Or
I have
a deck? Both
I have
of
a
which I could
Steam
get
Deck.
both. I could get a Steam Deck and a Switch.
Switch 2 probably.
And a Switch 2 for the price of this fucking phone.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is kind of a thing like, yeah, if you're going to charge that much, it goddamn better do this shit.
My kids are like, hey, I want a better phone. And I'm like, all you do is look at Instagram videos all day. Like, I'm not gonna buy you a $1,200
iPhone 4.
yeah,
Are you
Instagram
fucking
watching
serious?
machine.
Instagram?
I'm gonna buy you a flip phone. I don't care.
Yeah. And that's what's funny is like kids like that are driving the phone economy. Meanwhile, I've had 2 phones in the last 15 years. Because
Wow.
I know,
Wow.
because all I do is browse Reddit. I know myself. Unity has allowed its plans to start charging developers per install. Oh my god.
Let's start over on that one. Try
Yeah,
again.
can we do the Jackson clip again though?
I didn't even write this one, by the way. This was you.
I know. I thought you'd fucked with me, but it just came out weird. Unity has announced that it plans to start charging developers per install in a reversal of long-standing policy.
There you go.
Just missing that. You guys, this is the big news story. Sorry I didn't put up front. I wanted you guys to get a little invested in the podcast. But this is all anyone's talked about, like all week long. Unity is the company behind the Unity Engine.
Yep.
Which is a game development platform that is very, very popular, especially among indie developers. Big part of this is because, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, that I'm pretty sure you can just make a game on Unity for free. And as long as you're under a certain threshold, it costs you nothing. So what that does is, you can imagine, encourages a lot of indie development because it's at least risk-free you don't have to pay to use the engine, which has traditionally been a huge barrier to game development. So either you have to make your own, or you have to pay for someone else's licenses. So Unity has been this kind of good guy thing for so many years because they're like, yeah, indie devs, you just use our engine, you can make your games, and if they get big and they blow up, then we'll take a little cut of it.
We'll take some cash, yeah. But
And then larger studios that want to use Unity, we encourage that. We love that. And you guys are going to hit that threshold a little sooner. So yeah, you're going to pony up. But compared to other studios, it's probably a better, cheaper alternative. Plus, there's a ton of, there's a big fucking community that develops on it. So that's always nice to have people that you can rely on for those sorts of things. So, oh man, what I've just described is like their bread and butter.
Yeah.
And so when I tell you that they bring in a new executive from EA that was at EA during its like worst period, like 2007 to like 2013 or some shit. And they bring him in as CEO. Do you think he's gonna stick with the bread and butter, Peterson, or you think he's gonna totally fuck with it?
You know what? Things have been going great for them. Really popular game engine. I think they just stick with it and ride that gravy train.
Yeah, well.
Oh wait, you said
you're
CEO?
A stupid idiot. That's
going
to be the CEO of a video game company.
No, yeah, I forgot you said. I missed the CEO part. Yeah, no, definitely going to make a bad decision.
Yeah, this is John Riccitiello. Is that how you say his name? John Riccitiello?
I don't know.
Riccitiello? Racchisciello?
Rockish Yellow, I think.
Rockish Yellow. So John Rockish Yellow, total fucking dumbass, decides that they're going to roll out a runtime fee, which is based upon each time a qualifying game is downloaded by an end user. So imagine with me, if you will, someone like, I don't know, when we used to play with Spencer and he would download our chat client every single time we played.
Every single time we played, at least twice a week.
Imagine someone that's doing something similar for a game, a small game like Rocket League that doesn't take a huge amount of time to download. Well, guess what? Every time they install that, Unity's going to take a cut, even if it's the same fucking game, the same user. If the game has passed a minimum threshold revenue in the last 12 months and the game has passed a minimum lifetime install count, that's the criteria for qualifying for this runtime fee. So if you've made, let's see, 200,000 USD in the last 12 months, and you have at least 200,000 lifetime game installs, or those that have made $1 million USD in the last 12 months and have at least a million lifetime game installs, and then they have this very long, kind of detailed table that explains the breakdown of how many installs you need and how much they're going to take per install. It's pennies here, pennies there, up to as much as like 20 cents per install for Unity Personal and Unity Plus. So if you're like me and you're not a game developer, a lot of this is probably gibberish. And a lot of this is probably like, who fucking cares? It's just like 20 cents on a game install, like whatever. Why is this such a big deal? That's probably why we're not game developers, because this sent the entire game development community. I haven't seen something happen like this maybe ever. Honestly,
this is wild.
Been covering this industry, been in this industry on and off since 2010, and I have never seen a unification, a unified condemnation of this magnitude from game developers specifically. So what has happened is that a lot of questions emerged around how installs are being tracked. Like, how are you tracking this? How do you know, are you going to tell us all of these installs? Because it's kind of like you're just saying, we're going to tell you how many times your game was installed, and then we're going to charge you for it. And they're like, and they responded with quote, and they spammed this response all over Twitter. It's kind of obnoxious. Quote, we leverage our own proprietary data model so you can appreciate that we won't go into a lot of detail, but we believe it gives an accurate determination of the number of times the runtime is distributed for a given project. So basically, trust us. We'll just give you a number that we think's good. And then
It'll be
we'll just
fine.
send you a bill. And so I am going to get into, I'm just going to read now some of the developer responses, if you don't mind. This is from Innersloth. Peterson, you know who Innersloth is, right?
I've heard of them. I can't remember which ones they are.
You know, because they make Among Us.
Oh, yeah.
So these are the guys that for make Among Us. This is their statement on Twitter. We use Unity to make our games. This would harm not only us, but our fellow game studios of all budgets and sizes. If this goes through, we delay content and features our players actually want to port our games elsewhere, as others are also considering. But many developers won't have the time or means to do the same. Stop it. WTF.
Nice.
That's how they end it, which is pretty amazing. Another one, this is from Agro Crab. I don't know what they make. Another Crab's Treasure. They said this is just a part of it. Today, Unity, the engine we use to make our games, announced that they'll soon be taking a fee from developers for every copy of the game installed over a certain threshold, regardless of how that copy was obtained. Guess who has a somewhat highly anticipated game coming to Xbox Game Pass in 2024? That's right, it's us and other developers. That means Another Crab's Treasure will be free to install for 25 million Game Pass subscribers. If a fraction of those users download our game, Unity could take a fee that puts an enormous dent in our income and threatens the sustainability of our business. And that's before we even think about sales on other platforms or pirated installs of our game, or even multiple installs by the same user.
Yep. This is what I was thinking about. I was thinking about, like, what are those people who offer their game for free and there's just auto downloaded. People just grab them on Game Pass, on
not free
Epic
for the
Game
developer
Store
anymore.
No, it is
money.
It's like a bad decision for them now.
So they finish this up by saying, on behalf of the developer community, we're calling on Unity to reverse the latest in a string of short-sighted decisions that seem to prioritize shareholders over their product's actual users. I fucking hate it here.
Dude.
A couple more that are really funny. This is from Megacrit. You know Megacrit.
Yeah, they do.
Slay the Spire.
Yeah, that's right.
This is my favorite. Did you read this one?
No.
You're going to love this. Just listen to it then. The Megacrit team has been hard at work these past 2+ years on a new game. But unlike with Slay the Spire, the engine we have been developing it in is Unity. The retroactive pricing structure of runtime fees is not only harmful in a myriad of ways to developers, especially indies, but also it is a violation of trust. We believe Unity is fully aware of this, seeing as they have gone so far as to remove their terms of service from GitHub. Despite the immense amount of time and effort our team has already poured into development on this new title, we will be migrating to a new engine unless the changes are completely reversed and terms of service protections are put in place. We have never made a public statement before. This is how badly you fucked up.
Wow, I like that.
That's all in bold. Just like how the previous
that.
one was all in bold. I fucking hate it here. And then this one also, I just will read the headline. This is from Gary of Gary's Mod. Like, you know, Gary's Mod and Rust. He, I don't think, really comments on stuff like this normally. He wrote an article, I think, on his blog that's just the title is Unity Can Get Fucked. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because it is a full blog post, but this is just a part of it that I'll read. Unity has shown its power. We can see what they can and are willing to do. You can't unring that bell. If you'd asked me last week whether it was in Unity's power to start charging us per sale of our games, I'd have said that was crazy and no. Surely that's not possible. That would be like Adobe charging all users of Photoshop per image view and trying to invent a system in which they can track and invoice you every month. And not only the new images, but all the images that you created over the last 20 years, then automatically invoicing you every month. But that's what happened. And now we know they can do that and they're willing to do that. Unity is the worst company to be in charge of the Unity engine. The trust is gone. So,
dude, I do think a lot of the damage they have done, like I think if they rewound it back and said, "Oh, we're not doing that," it was a bad decision, which I
It's
think
too
they
late.
might do. I think people who are already making a game in there won't stop if they were close, but I think everyone else like, nope, we're not using Unity.
We don't need to. That's the thing. In Megacrit, like they said, this is our first time with Unity, and what a fucking first time. We're out.
Yeah.
This is and then another crazy point that I saw on Reddit that someone was pointing out was a small indie developer of a mobile game. And the math on that they did on this pointed out that Unity wants 108% of their gross revenue because they're a mobile game that's free to download.
Oh my god.
So they go for volume, and if you know mobile games that are free to play, they are like, we want 1 million people to download, and maybe like 500 are going to drop serious money on them, and then like maybe tens of thousands will drop a couple bucks, and that's how they make their money. But if you're charging, even a nickel per download on million downloads, well, now we owe you $5 million just we're in the hole for that. That costs more than if they'd paid up front for like a really nice game engine. Fucking crazy. So like Peterson, like you said, dude, they went into scramble mode because the sharks are circling already. Unreal Engine posted on Twitter, make today the day you get started with Unreal Engine. Check out our mega thread on Unreal Engine free online learning content.
I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you, right?
And the Game Maker Engine on Twitter posts, you know what? Free exports for 3 months in case you're leaving Unity. We've got some links to help you make the jump.
Woo!
Redeem here. A Unity's user guide to Game Maker. Read here. Should Unity devs move to Godot, Unreal, or Game Maker? Read here. And just linking all this shit. So, dude, this is not the time to pull this shit when the indie game development community is big, and there is every opportunity to hit it large on a game like, I don't know, like Valheim goes off and they're using your engine and you're just making a nickel per download on that and you don't fuck with that formula. Well, now you make a bunch of money. But if you just try to milk it, this is the craziest thing, dude. This is straight out of the Newsies, dude. They go at like the poorest group, the group that is literally using their shit because it's free and cheap. And they're like, these are the people that'll pay out big time for us. No, that's not your fucking audience. And that's like what all these developers said. Like, that's not who uses your engine. It's not these. And they kept saying over and over again in their scramble to fix this, like, oh, this is only going to apply to big companies. This is only going to apply to big companies. They said owners of subscription services like Game Pass would be on the hook for games on these platforms, not game makers. So that point that I made about Game Pass and the developer having to pay for that, they're like, no, the developer won't pay for that. Microsoft will. So, Microsoft is like, wait, fuck. Phil Spencer's like, wait, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
We're on the what? For what?
Well, no, and you know how this goes. I was talking to one of my buddies, Steven, about this last night. He was really into this type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he made a good point. He's like, no, you know who's going to end up paying for it. Even free games, you go to install it, 20-cent charge to you, the consumer. Hey, because we have to cover this cost.
Yeah,
we can't. So it's 20, and people will do it. People will do it. It's like 20 cents to put this on my machine or whatever. Like I had it on my old machine,
but it
put
will
it on my new
eat
machine.
into their download numbers and their profits. And they will just straight up not use Unity anymore.
This is just a
fucking
stupid decision. Yeah.
Yeah. So they also said that after initially saying developers would be charged every time a user installed the game, Unity clarified it would only charge for initial installs. So they said, oh, whoa, it's not like every single time. So, which is kind of weird because they said their like proprietary formula was so genius, but they can't reveal it because they clearly don't have it yet. They don't know. They're just making it up. They just announced this to be like, expect to get some bills in the mail, which reminds me, Peterson, why don't you spin up that clip I sent you? Because this is exactly what this reminded me of. Because they're like, we're going to go back on every download that you've ever had, and we're going to charge you money for it because we need to make a little extra scratch this quarter.
Hi, Jerry. Michael Scott. Well, this is slightly embarrassing. I'm going to have to ask you to pay me a little bit more money for that delivery we dropped off yesterday. Yeah, we did. We got the check, but we're just going to need a much, much bigger check.
We're just going to need a much, much bigger check.
Hey, Jerry. I think we're all Jerry to Unity. Everyone.
John
Jerry.
Rocket Yellow here. So I know that we told you that your this game engine would be free. Turns out it actually is going to cost you, looks like $2 million.
So technically, it was free until you released your game. Then the free went away.
Bad. Did you not read the terms of service? Oh, you can't because we pulled them down off the internet? Well, here, we have proprietary terms of service. You'll just have to trust that we will give you an accurate determination of the terms of service.
I promise it will be worth it in the long run. Like Unity engine for life. Like you're going to love it.
I think this is going to be a fascinating business case to watch unfold. How quickly, I mean, the billionaires this year are just having a hell of a year. It's like, dude, 2023 is going to be the year that we prove to everyone that we are just like so fucking dumb. And the concept of a capitalism based meritocracy is just complete nonsense. Watch this. And some guy just goes down and gets squirted by a fucking submarine and just kicks off all this bullshit. Elon Musk is doing whatever the fuck he's doing. And then this jerk off, it's just like, yeah, you know what's great about Unity? The fact that it charges everyone tons of money. Everyone's like, whoa, no. By the way,
wait, that's the opposite.
There were fucking people, tons of people within Unity, the company, that have come out. I think a lot of it has been anonymous, have come out and said, like, we said not to do this. Like, they ran this by all of us and nobody was on board. This is entirely an executive driven thing. And
what?
I know, it's surprising to me too, to the point that apparently there was a fucking bomb threat at one of these offices and it was from one of their employees. I mean, I understand getting frustrated at work, guys, but if you're frustrated enough to send a bomb threat, that's the point you quit.
I'll burn this place to the ground.
Yeah, if you're bomb threat frustrated, that's the point. You gotta you're done.
Yeah,
you're done, because no job is fucking worth whatever legal bullshit that puts you through. It ain't worth it. John Rocket Yellow, he ain't worth it. I promise you. That guy fucking sucks. That guy's gonna burn in 1,000,000 hells for eternity. Don't worry about it. So anyway, yeah. That's where we're at on the Unity thing. As this unfolds more, I'm trying to remember. Oh, there was one more thing about this that I wanted to talk about John Rocket Yellow.
Okay, hit it.
Apparently unloading stock before this all went down.
Wow.
But I've got to clarify, from what I've seen, what he sold off was a teeny tiny amount, like a less than a 0.5 percentage point of his total holdings in Unity. And it was just like an automated sell-off. So all of these headlines you see that are so sensationalized that it's just some big conspiracy that this guy's deliberately trying to tank the company. It's not 4D chess. It's not like Elon Musk is doing some genius move with Twitter. They're just idiots doing dummy shit because they're fucking stupid.
I think technically he should still be able to get dinged for insider trading. Because I know I could get dinged for insider trading at my company if I don't trade within the stock window. And if I bought like one share, if I don't trade within the open stock window, I don't know anything. I don't know what's going on.
How many commas you got in your bank account, though, Peterson? Because that kind of determines whether or not you can do insider trading. That's more of like a 2+ comma thing.
I think if I look at all of the accounts together, I can add up a couple commas. But
I was gonna say, you and me playing 1 comma after payday.
Yeah, 1 comma.
We can't get away with insider trading.
Yeah. Okay.
Forza Motorsport's latest accessibility option is a blind drive assist, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Turn left here.
Did you watch that video?
No.
It's kind of what it's like. So this is the first time that something like this has apparently been seen in or used in a racing game. And there are audio cues for speed. There are cues for turn type, direction, and severity. So if it's like short turn or like hairpin turn right, long hairpin or whatever, and then you'll have beeping that's like as you're getting closer to the edges, it's like beep 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 beep, and so you try to keep your, and you can adjust everything. There's a shit ton of customization options where you can revolving. A lot of them are revolving around volume and pitch, because obviously that's like how the game is. That's like the entire. I mean, but I imagine if you're playing this on your Xbox controller, you've also got the vibration and all that feedback. That's so cool.
It is kind of cool. It's like, I feel like if someone just like it beats you in this mode, they're like Batman, right?
Well, that's what
like
this
crazy.
This link, I've linked to you this video.
I was
this
watching it.
Is what is his name? Steve Saylor. And I believe he is a blind gamer. Yep, he is a blind gamer.
He's definitely blind.
And he whooped people using this mode. He beat people using this mode, like real people. So it's obviously it works. Fucking works. I think it's the coolest shit ever.
This is actually pretty cool. Like, this video is worth watching because it is very interesting and honestly smartly done by the devs. Like, very smartly done. So I guess kudos to them because that's interesting.
Yeah, and this is like, I think these things are cool, especially if you're like, you've got really shitty vision, if you got like cataracts or whatever. This would be really useful, but this is to the extent that you can be completely blind and it's still awesome. Like, this is so dope.
That's cool.
So big kudos goes to Forza and the guys who working on Forza Motorsport for just kicking ass in the accessibility arena. Dude, that guitar strums and it literally just endorphins just dump in my
like,
fucking
I feel
brain
good
stem.
now. I feel good now.
Awesome. I feel good. I got feel good chemicals going on. I don't know why, but I got them. First up here, riblets. Oh, I didn't tell you what riblets are. They were so good to me. So satisfying. I forgot. Riblets are like you take a rib and you treat it like a wishbone, right? You just snap it in two. That's how. I mean, you ever like snap snap
it in two and then throw it in a blender. Real quick.
Yep. And then you microwave that and you got yourself a riblet. Yeah. And riblets are just like that for the news stories that we report on. So just little meat nuggets of news that you're like, why are they even serving this? Because you guys keep ordering it. That's why. First up, Musty D is leaving Epic Games, you guys.
Wow. It's end of an era.
End of an era, which is honestly marks kind of the beginning of one of our big guests at the beginning of this podcast, Donald Mustard, who was the chief creative officer at Epic Games before Fortnite went big. I mean, he was there at the helm when Fortnite was like really taking off, and that's when we were able to interview them.
Can I just say, it was the day Fortnite Battle Royale was releasing is when we interviewed Donald Mustard, and they were surprised no one else was talking to them. We were the ones, guys, cutting edge. We knew what was going on.
Isn't that fucking amazing?
It's so good.
So he's been in the gaming industry for 25 years. I interviewed Donald Mustard way back when. It was one of the very first things I did as a game journalist was an article on Chair, which was at the time an independent studio before they were purchased by Epic Games. But Chair, they were working on at the time Infinity Blade, and they had just made Shadow Complex. And so I went and did a kind of a piece on the studio for Games Radar, which was awesome. And so that's why I have been personally interested in it, because they were kind enough, Donald Mustard and his lovely wife, Laura, were kind enough to grant a young, completely green game journalist an opportunity to see a game studio. That was the first game studio I ever went into, was Chair here in Salt Lake City. It was so cool. I don't know. It's kind of like Peterson said, it's the end of an era. He posts this big long Twitter post and then a a picture of a sunset with the battle bus going off into the sunset and people are waving at it. This has got to be so fucking hard. How do you make this decision, man? How do you leave when it's like at this point? I mean, it's smart. Leaving at the top, leaving when Fortnite is just as hot as it can be, and it's not going to get any hotter, and it's obviously only ever going to go downhill from here. Smart as hell. Good for Donald Mustard. But oh man, I am not someone that can leave things like this. I can't. Look at how long we're doing this.
It would be hard. It'd be so hard to leave this, dude. So all of the crazy Fortnite story, like he's behind all of it.
Yes.
So
I think it's so wild. He says he's going to be spending more time with his wife and family.
Smart. I mean, look, he's obviously got the money for it. Right, so like,
and come back in anytime he wants, anywhere he wants.
He will. I do think he will make his face will show up somewhere in 5 years doing something else, because like he's not like an old man.
No,
like, he's a pretty young
like
guy.
50.
So like, but yeah, he probably wants to enjoy.
Not even 50. I bet he's in his 40s.
I bet he has young children at home. Like he probably wants to enjoy some time with his kids before he can't anymore. You know what I mean? So
he's 47. So yeah, he's like a baby,
he's not an old guy. And so yeah, he'll be back. I think maybe more than 5 years. I think once his kids are around less, as they get teenage years and older,
and he'll get bored in his midlife and be like, oh,
you know what I
like
love? Go back into video games.
Yeah, and how much of a shock to your system is it to go from being the creative officer over fucking Fortnite at its hottest of hots to doing nothing, just hanging out with your kids? You're like, can you guys break something or do something rambunctious? I need a little bit more like to do.
Okay. Wait. Bold prediction coming from me right now. You ready? Next time we see or hear about Donald Mustard, it is a video game collaboration with Brandon Sanderson, because they are good buddies. No. They are good buddies. Listen, and as the creative director of Fortnite, he can't do anything with Sanderson, right? He can't make a Sanderson game. Now that he's retired, give him some time. Give Stormlight Archive a few years to release some stuff. He's going to start an indie studio that Sanderson will work with exclusively to make his games.
Would that put you as the closest degree of separation to Sanderson then? Do you have 1 degree from him currently?
No, I don't know. Probably that would put me the closest. And honestly, I'm going to get in there. I am going to become Brandon Sanderson's friend at some point. So
even if I have to wear his skin to do it.
To be totally honest, I don't think he and I would get along super well. Like, I can get along with anybody really, but like, would he be my favorite friend? No, probably not. But
this is a lot. If you're a longtime listener to this podcast, you're like, what? What's happening?
That's the reality of the situation. But yeah, I think he and I could be like pretty good friends. Like if I saw him at church or something, like we'd be pretty tight. But would we be like constantly hanging out? No, probably not. I mean, I do have a dorkiness threshold, believe it or not, and I think he crosses that line many times. So
look, Peterson, you might make him a nice chair, and he might love that chair. He might talk about that chair all the time, and even about the quality of the person who made that chair. But Peterson doesn't want to hang out with a fucking carpenter. I mean,
yeah,
smells like wood, dirty, busy all the time.
Hands are like stained, weird colors from wood stain, like
only like 8.5 fingers.
Don't touch me with those weird wood stained hands. I don't like that.
No,
don't be gross.
But I love the chair. You did a fantastic job with this chair. Thank you so much. That was
the longest riblet. Oh gosh, sorry.
I didn't realize how much we cared for Donald Mustard. I'm so sorry. So best of luck to Donald Mustard.
Okay,
hate to see you go, but we're glad you're doing stuff that you like. Star Wars Jedi, the game director for the Star Wars Jedi series, Stig Asmussen is out at Electronic Arts.
On Stig.
Stig Asmussen.
Honestly, it's pretty. That's a really Star Wars name, Stig.
And his
That's
last
kinda
name has
interesting.
no like nothing up, below, or above the line, like a T or a G or something. It's just a straight line all
It's
the way
like
across.
it's Rasmussen without the R. It's Asmussen.
Asmussen. Oh, that makes sense. He also worked on he was an artist on all of the original God of War games, and he ended up before he left, he ended up as the director of God of War 3. So he had a pretty good pedigree, and then he went and kicked ass on Star Wars Jedi, both of those, Jedi Outcast and whatever, Survivor is the latest one. And now he's out. So EA loses probably one of their better assets.
Yeah,
Yikes.
pursuing other adventures. So he's gonna start a indie studio making Brandon Sanderson games with Musty D.
That is a much bigger loss than Donald Mustard at Epic Games. Not to say Donald isn't amazing, but I feel like EA needed someone like Stig because they're struggling, and his importance as the guy leading one of their biggest games series, who's kind of reinvented their portfolio and their focus on single player games, and he's out.
He's gone.
That's like, that's the difference between Donald Mustard leaving when everything's just cooking and everything's great, and he's a really good product and like, hey, everything's running smooth, I'm out.
And there is a big difference between a game director and the creative director, right? There's a lot of creative people out there who could do great things. Game director is a pretty big position. So
this is a big deal. So this is a huge loss for EA. Don't expect any really strong single player Star Wars games to come out of that studio anytime soon. Along the lines of cancellations, E3 2024 is canceled, but a quote complete rejuvenation of the show has been announced just before they, cancel E3 2025. Of course.
How many times since we've done this podcast have they talked about like reviving?
Oh no, E3 next year is going to be dope. It's like a Boy Who Cried Wolf situation. If you actually believe there's going to be an E3 2025, I have a bridge to sell you. The ESA still has big plans for E3 and is working on a quote complete rejuvenation of the show for a possible return in 2025. So yeah, maybe we'll finally go. Maybe they'll finally have an E3 that the 3 Big Gamer Show can attend.
I don't want to at this point.
Lies of P apparently dropped their ACAB/APAB mission to avoid controversy. This is something kind of funny. Apparently there was like some promo image or some trailer that was released way back when this game was originally coming out that had featured looked like a puppet that had been strung up over a bridge, and he had a sign hanging on over his neck that said APAB.
APAB. It's a playoff of ACAB, which is all cops are bastards, which was a popular phrase during the Black Lives Matter peak of all that stuff. And so this is like a playoff that all puppets are bastards, we're assuming that meant.
Right, which, by the way, ACAB was kind of just like a new twist on the one rotten apple spoils the bunch.
Right.
Idiom.
Right.
It's just a different idiom, but everyone got really riled up because it's controversial. And so apparently this had been scrubbed and people couldn't find it on the internet. And they're like, did I make this up?
Like, is this some weird fever dream?
It was just from like a promo image, and you'd see it just like a spark in your mind. That'd be something that Peterson and I would send each other a Discord message about, totally forget about, and then 8 months later be like, wait, where the fuck was that? Did you see that? What the hell?
We like searching Control F. I swear we talked about this.
APAB, like that all puppets are bastards. So of all people, Sports Illustrated spoke to the game director through a translator who I know. Isn't that fucking funny? They bring this up and he was like, oh yeah, that's kind of funny. Like he knew about it. He was totally aware of this. Quote, this is what the game director responded. We took it out eventually because we wanted everyone to enjoy the game exactly how we intended it to be enjoyed and not judged based on any trends. We really wanted the world that we designed to be interpreted by the players exactly how we aimed it to be. So we took out factors that could be a little risky. So apparently the Lies of P developers are looking, they're like, I think a lot of cops are going to play our game, and we don't want to make them mad.
Here's what I don't like. I think based on what I know about the Lies of P world, it seems like it would be a good fit. It's like kind of a darker, grittier type of thing, and like
it's an idiom. It's just borrowing and repurposing an idiom. It's
right,
like completely. That's how fucking language works, you guys.
You could see the people who really don't like the ACAB phrase or little saying idiom being like, oh, okay, so this is a real left-winger game. I'm not playing it. We're going to review bomb it, right? And so, like, it's a shame because it seems like it would fit into the world very well. When I saw this, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it.
How many plays on MAGA have we seen everywhere? Make America this again. Make America that again. Like,
right.
Make this that again. Not even America.
Not even America. Yeah.
Everywhere. And they're like, no, we can't do APAB, which is fucking hilarious, by the way. APAB.
Like, I could see.
I hate puppets. I do hate puppets. I believe APAB. Can we name this podcast APAB?
Yes.
Please. Yeah. That's pretty funny. But I get it, I guess. You're trying to keep it clean in your puppet slaying game. You don't want to have too much controversy.
So dumb.
Ubisoft is closing their London studios, laying off 50 people. Ubisoft London was behind the Hungry Shark series. You familiar with that? I'm not.
No.
So let's move on. Another studio closure. Layoffs. Immortals of Avium. Immortals of Avium. You fucking say that.
Like, why would you name? Why would you?
If
you're gonna make up a word,
make up one that makes sense that people can say. You're not Tolkien. Get the fuck out of here. Studio, they laid off the studio.
Quit trying to be Tolkien.
Immortals of Avium. They laid off nearly half of their staff a couple weeks after the release of the game, which apparently
Avium aren't avium birds.
Avium. Immortals of Avium. Is it a bird-based game?
Oh, immortal birds, I guess, which honestly is terrifying. So going back to the dinosaur theme of this episode.
I guess I'm an asshole because I didn't take Latin in high school. The game had terrible fucking sales. They peaked at just under 800 Steam players shortly after launch. So they didn't hit. They never hit 800. And a big part of that is that fewer than 9% of PCs may have qualified to actually run this game. So not only is this game kind of a no-name small game, but it is
unplayable.
It
sounds like they just made good decisions from start to finish, from the game concept to the name. Everything back,
great top idea. To bottom. Way to go, Immortals of Anuses.
Avian Immortals.
My bad. They went from an estimated 80 to 100 employees to like 40 employees.
Honestly, good for them because they made bad decisions. You shouldn't work for them. You don't want to work.
That was a
there.
blessing for those 40 people. I hope you get severance. And then finally,
other people are like, "Can I get laid off?" And like, you're staying. You have to
test bugs. You have to test bugs for all 8 players that are still playing.
Can I get an upgraded machine then? Because I can't play the game. My work computer's not good enough.
Of AVM, I'm going to Steam DB to see how many people are currently playing this game right now. Let's see.
I wonder if this story made it better.
There are how many people do you think are playing this game? Just guess, ballpark it, based on what I've told you.
Like playing right now?
At this very moment.
8.
37.
37. Yeah.
There are 37 people playing this game. Hundreds of fewer people than worked on the game. So at that point, yeah, you can each have your personalized individual game developer. Finally, here is a Blursty nomination. Somebody found a bug in Starfield that gives you all the items in the store for free for looking into a puddle. is like a nearby merchant or something, and you look into a puddle outside his store, and you can just take all of his inventory just for free. I have no idea how it works out, but if you
Like,
watch this video,
the coding behind that is
Amazing.
absolutely bizarro.
because they probably coded the puddle as like a pocket or a backpack for some fucking reason, just because everything is spaghetti code at Bethesda. I'm so ready to play Starfield. I've been busting on a lot of other games right now, but Starfield looks like it's going to be a fun mess.
this week,
like
I'm
a
starting it
classic
this week.
Bethesda shit show of just like bugs and silliness. So that one's on the blur. So you just get everything for free. You just
That
look into a
is-
puddle.
I
and
am
get-
watching this video, and this is
Who am I?
it's not even like you can't see a reflection in the puddle
No,
of the it's just this is great.
you just look into a specific point of the puddle, and there you go. Everything's free. It's
It-
not
it-
like you can open up like a conversation dialogue with the merchant and just buy stuff from him. Like somehow you have his inventory.
It's
And you're
not
not
even
stealing,
a,
you just
a
get to have it.
notable looking puddle either. It's just like a regular dirty
Dude.
old puddle on the ground.
Based on how large this game is, can you even imagine the shit people are going to find over the next 10 years like they have with Skyrim? Oh,
Yeah, it's
it's
so
going to be
good.
fantastic. I'm so ready.
Kudos.
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 Kudos. Kudos is our positivity segment. We'd like to give a shout out to things that we like. And I'll go first because mine's easy. I'd like to give kudos. If you missed it, you missed it. It's over now. But I like to give kudos to the Utah State Fair. Sorry I didn't give everyone a warning sooner, so you actually could have made it down. I was a little late to the party. Ended up going for like Thursday before they closed.
I didn't even know they had one
The
going.
Wednesday.
So I
Yeah,
was out of
went
town, I
went with
guess.
Trent and his wife Annie and had an amazing time. It was his daughter Quinn's first time. Well, both of his daughters' first time, but one is a baby, so she won't remember. But I don't know. I like this State Fair because it's the same shit every year. I can count on the same tacky stuff. Although this one had a cool new, it's like a machine gun for kids. It's like automated, but it has like a guy laying on top, like prone on top of the machine gun, shooting another machine gun. And that machine gun moves. So his arm goes shoot, 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 shoot while you're shooting your machine gun with a guy laying on top of it shooting his own machine gun. Imagine a like an Arnold Schwarzenegger style Tinkerbell. So
Interesting.
instead of like helping you
okay.
pick locks, Tinkerbell helps you like ice terrorists with an M16.
Honestly,
And she has her own
Tinkerbell,
M40 that she mounts on top of your M16.
Yeah, she could do worse.
Anyway, that's one of the tacky things they had for sale there. I love it. I love the State Fair. I love walking around. I feel like it's like your civic duty, if you can make it, to go to the State Fair. You just go. You just do it. That's what you're supposed to do. Go look at the cool shit people have made and grown and baked and built. It's tight. Don't get on any of the rides if you value your life, health, or safety. Never get on a ride at a state fair. Never get on a ride that's not bolted to the ground permanently.
Honestly,
Fucking period. Just
the
a good
older I
rule of
get,
thumb.
the more horrified I get at those portable rides. Maybe it's because I have kids. Because when
Yep.
I was a kid, I was like, yeah, ride these things all day. It doesn't matter. Like, this can be
The
fine.
ride's ride.
And now I'm like, I look at the guy who's in charge of it, and I'm like,
You look at the stacks of
trust you.
wood that they're leveling it with, and it's
I
just
don't trust you.
like a 10 by 10 board. Like that whole thing's just sitting on a stack of 10 by 10s.
I don't trust this. I don't trust
The
any
fuck is
decision
that all about?
here.
No, I don't
Uh,
like that. So don't get on the rides. But yeah, next year if you guys see the fair, go down. It's dope. Everything's fried. Don't get the food at the stands because it's all garbage. You can get food from like their actual restaurants. Like the Pie has one there, and like
Oh,
who else was there? Iceberg was there. Leatherbees was there. So get some real food. And then go look at all the cool stuff that people have
Nice.
done. And the animals. There was a gigantic hog. Its balls were the size of like a giant fucking watermelon.
nice. Did you
Yeah.
Did you get a picture? Were people taking pictures of its balls?
I don't think I got a picture of the hog. I don't know if I got a picture. Maybe I did. I was taking pictures of Trent with his cute little daughter when she went through like this little farm display they had, and she was just working. She was a farm girl. It was really cute. She just went into the mode.
Kids are so random, and I love it.
Yeah. So the fair is great. Go to the fair next year.
Comes every year.
I hope you went because it's going to happen next year. Peterson, do you have any kudos?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, this is not anything new, but I've recently started listening kind of a lot to NF. Do you know NF?
No.
He's a rapper.
Okay.
But he's like he's a lyrical rapper. So his inspiration is obviously like Eminem. A lot cleaner than Eminem, though. I would say very family friendly.
Never talks about killing his mom.
Not that I've
Pussy.
heard. I don't know if he never does, but I haven't heard it yet.
Ever talk about overdosing on pills?
No. In fact, he came to Utah maybe like a month and a half ago, and it looked like it was like sold out at like a huge venue like Delta Center type of place. So he's pretty big, but I've just recently discovered NF. Very good. I just for some reason can't get enough. If you look him up, he looks like a nerdy version of Tom Hiddleston, maybe. And he's a rapper, white guy rapper, just looks real dorky. He raps about how depressed he is and stuff like that. But it's not Eminem level of depression. It's just like, yeah, I'm in my head and things are crazy.
I don't know if Eminem had depression so much as other issues.
I guess you're right. Yeah, there were some definite issues in there. Anyways, I just for some reason lately I just cannot get enough. I know, like I said, I know I'm not like the first to discover this guy, but I love it. And so if you have a chance to check out, just go on to Amazon Music or whatever.
Stand for something, NF.
It's his initials, and his name is like Nate Feurenstein or something like that. Look, everything about this guy's pretty dorky. So maybe that's why I like him.
That's the thing, isn't Post Malone kind of a Dorcas too? I mean, didn't he buy a big, expensive Magic card?
Yes, major Dorcas. Dorks are ruling everything now.
In the 90s, told us that we weren't, but the Dorks won.
Yeah, we did. We were trying to like give them wedgies and stuff, and little did we know we were fueling their rap dreams. Anyway, so some of the songs I like When I Grow Up, Just Like You. Honestly, just go look at like his top. They're all good. They're all fun to listen to. And it's like I said, it's lyrical rap, rapping very fast, a lot of words. Not a lot of songs lately have like they'll repeat like the same paragraph over and over.
What's your favorite rhyme? What's your favorite rhyme? Go off the top of your head.
I can't think of my favorite.
Does he have one that you're just like, oh, that's hot? Ooh, I like that. He rhymed this with that.
Oh, I don't know. No. I mean, it's very fast. So it's like I'm listening to it. I don't even know the words.
You have to come back to me because you'll have an answer for that later.
Yeah, I don't even, I barely know any of the words to the songs because, like I said, they're very fast, and it doesn't repeat themselves a lot.
Dude, you got to listen to his shit like a 13-year-old with the lyrics in front of you.
I'm
like
usually driving when I listen to music. So
hey, man, if you can watch Friends, you can read lyrics while you drive.
You know what? I don't know. I don't even. Right when I said that, I knew it was stupid when I said it.
I said such a stupid thing. I'm sorry. Should have the little lyric cards.
Obviously, I can read the
jewel case.
I'll write them down on a note card and I'll read it myself. I'll pull it out and just.
I'm sorry, I pulled you over. Do you know why I pulled you over today? I thought I saw you using flashcards with yourself. Are you studying for something? Nope.
Yeah, my buddy told me to look up the lyrics.
Let me just stop you right there and write you a ticket.
No, I've done this before. It's okay.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. Don't game devs. I hope my last letter reached you in good health. I have seen your latest work, and I feel I must interject with some urgency and implore you to stop. Just stop. And for the love of all that is holy, please do not do any of the following.
Did you write that?
I guess, yeah.
That is phenomenal. Oh my god!
I forgot about that until you posted this. I
Is
was
that
like,
a
wait, don't we have
pandemic era
something?
number? I feel like we had a lot of creativity in the pandemic because we had nothing else to do.
Yeah, and like our brains were just not like in a weird place. I gotta look it up when we did it now.
Yeah, sometimes I remember that we did that time loop episode, and I'm like, what the fuck were we on?
Dude, doesn't matter. We're doing it.
Oh man. Anyway, so Don't Game Devs is our modification.
It was a year and a half ago, May of 2022. I don't
Feeling it.
know.
We were feeling it.
Just sometimes. I don't know, man.
It's where we tell game developers, just cut it out, stop it, knock it off, stop doing this thing. We're doing a random grab bag. Sometimes we have a theme. We're doing grab bag this week.
Grab bag.
I want to
we
talk
got
the
a bag
first
and
one.
Grab it.
So easy. Stop not listening to the people that are actually making your product. This is a huge one for the Unity issue. Is the Unity developers that were saying, hey, this is a terrible idea, no one's gonna like this. Hey, here's some indie developers that are saying this isn't gonna work. Hey, and I just can't imagine. And this happens, executives making decisions overriding just like better, I would say just common sense a lot of the time. But for a lot of these
interesting
cases,
when there is a decision made and then you see it's a bad decision. Everyone knows it's a bad decision. And
it's never a surprise.
And people who work at the company, just like we talked about, said, hey, we were overwhelmingly telling them it was a bad decision. And lo and behold, it is. And they just, like this, they act like, well, come on, guys. Like,
how could we have known?
Yeah. And you're like, everyone was telling you. Anyone with a brain would have told you this. It doesn't pass the common man test. So
Yeah.
if the average person would think it was normal, then yeah, we're good.
And we read these articles about like especially the QA teams that are like being abused or ignored or whatever. A lot of the time, a lot of these games, when they're like, hey, they come out and they're shitty, who has already raised their hand like 50 times and said, don't release this game? It's the QAs. So this whole idea of just like not listening to the people below you who know what's going on because they're actually building your product, be it a game or a game engine or whatever, and just ignoring them categorically because you think you know better because you're an executive. Knock it off. Stop it. Don't. Yeah. How about you, Peterson?
Okay, this one is kind of very specific, but stop making Left 4 Dead remakes. I feel like we get one every year.
No.
We have Back 4 Blood, and wasn't that one was not great. And then we had what was the vampire one we just had that was terrible?
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that was supposed to be like a Left 4 Dead clone.
Yeah, it's just like another one of those. But like even Back 4 Blood, which honestly is like a pretty good version of like
Redfall.
A Left 4 Dead. Yeah, Redfall, that's the one. So they did Back 4 Blood. That one came out and it was like fine. I played it, was like, oh, this game's fine, but I've played this before and I'm not really that interested. And then Redfall came out, did terrible. But then there were games like what's the Warhammer one that I just played? I can't remember the names of all these games. We played this Warhammer one that's pretty popular, but even then, like, they get old very fast because they're just like, there's Vermintide, but they just keep making this game, but they're not doing anything super interesting with the genre. It's kind of like RTS games back in the like early 2000s. Every one of them was just the same thing.
Yeah.
And they just keep doing this. And Left 4 Dead was a fluke. Like, it made a ton of money, but that's because it felt interesting at the time. it's no longer interesting, and they're not making tons of money.
And just because the fan base is super rabid doesn't mean they're large enough to support you guys continuously making these games.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
The fan base for FTL is rabid, but if you made an FTL 2 and banked a ton of money on it, you wouldn't make it back.
FTL clones that I've seen have not been good.
Great metaphor, yeah.
And so you just stop,
because the audience isn't that massive, and we're kind of into the one thing, the original FTL. They even have that multiverse, but people like me and Phil, who have put hundreds of hours into FTL, have no interest in exploring that. And it's based on the original game. It is a mod of the original game, and that's how far. So yeah, remaking the original. That's a
try to stop making Left 4 Dead games. Just let
it be a one good thing. We don't need the second. We don't need a sequel to The Mask.
Quit trying to do it. What do you got?
All right, this one kind of came up on a game that I picked for my Dice Destiny game, Fae Farm. Fae Farm is a whatever, it doesn't matter, but you go in there and it's an RPG, and so your character should have a name, but it just automatically uses your Steam name. The only way to change it, in fucking dialogue, I'm JDDing everywhere. They refer, hey, JDDing, I'm so
one
glad
word.
Yeah, it's very much takes me out of it. Luckily, they don't really refer to me by name that often. So it's like not that bad, but the only way to change it is to go into the company that makes Fae Farm, I don't know whoever the fuck they are, and make an account with them and then connect that account. And it's also the only way you can play like this multiplayer with people across platforms and stuff. So that kind of makes sense, sort of, kind of. But that's my thing I want them to drop, that I want Don't Game Devs, is don't make me make an account for if you're a game development studio, I've already made an account to buy your game through whatever platform and launcher. Don't make me do another one and hide functionality behind it. I don't think in this instance they were hiding it. I think it was an oversight. But there are things that they definitely, game developers do. They're like, you have to make an account to be able to do this, that, or the other, because they want your email and your information. Don't do that shit. Don't do that shit.
So I'm going to put this out there. I think this will surprise a lot of our listeners, but I don't know anything about coding a video game.
Really?
Yeah, I really don't. But I do think it would probably be easier to just make it so you can change your name in the
rather than automatically pulling it in like a call to the Steam servers to be like, what is this guy's name? We'll put that into the game directly.
That seems harder.
Versus, I don't know. I also don't know. Like, they had something simple like that in Pokemon for the Game Boy, so I think they could pull it off for Fae Farm.
That game I'm playing, the Nephilim Saga, Symphony of War. Same thing. You can put your name in, and it refers to you. So it names your character, and that's just her name now in the game, the main character. And like that seems pretty easy compared to I'm going to pull it from your Steam account.
Yeah.
What?
I think the idea there is that they want it to be for your world. So you have a unique world, and they don't have to worry. They're piggybacking off of Steam to avoid duplicates. That's what they're doing, because if everyone made their world named John and then they tried to like invite them to join, but then again, that's just stupid. Put the unique identifier just automatically on there.
Yep.
So if you do make your farm name John, there's like 8 numbers afterwards that are unique to that, and then you can just tell people I'm John and then whatever 8 numbers, and they can come join your farm. Again, I don't know anything about game coding, but I think that would also be a simpler solution.
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay, I've got one that I want them to stop doing. So this is for online games, and this is driven by my love of Omega Strikers for whatever reason. Stop bundling your good stuff with garbage stuff.
Ooh.
So there are like skins. You see this a lot in online games. A new skin will come out, and you're like, oh yeah, you buy it. You buy it. Some of them you can only buy in a bundle, and you don't want anything else in the bundle. You're like, I just want this one skin. I don't like any of that other stuff. but you got to pay the full bundle price. The only company I've ever seen, and there's someone is probably going to say, no, there's someone else who does it. The only group I've ever seen who does it better is Fortnite, because if they have a bundle and you already own some of the individual items in the bundle, it actually decreases the cost of the bundle. So if it's like $20
Smart.
and you've got 4 of the 5 things, it's like $3. You know what I mean? To get it, just because you're only getting that one thing. And so, but Omega Strikers are so bad at this. There's like, I'm not gonna buy a skin in the game because like I like it.
No.
I don't like it that much.
No.
But like a lot of the good skins are hid behind these bundles. They're like $25 or something. And you're like, this is so stupid. Like, and the rest of the stuff is garbage. It's like, this is you can spam like emotes in the game, not like your characters do. It pops above your head, like, and they're really dumb. It's like something like that, or something you can put on your profile picture. Like, they're very stupid. Anyway, stop doing that. Like, what if I just want this one skin? I would maybe pay you $3 for the skin, but I don't want all that other garbage with it. I don't care about any of that. So anyway, stop bundling stuff.
Stop it. I have a particular one.
Okay.
For something that you and I think have to deal with a lot, which is knockoff. Stop giving me sneak peeks for your early access games. I don't want sneak peeks. If you've got updates, if you've got full things to show off, but just like a screenshot or two of things you're working on that, I mean, in a lot of cases is just kind of like mysterious or confusing because we don't have the full context of it. They're like, oh, here's some things that we're working on. Hope you can be excited. And the idea is the community is going to pick it apart and try to figure out all the different things from the sneak peek. No, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Here's my issue with it. It's the hype stuff, right? You're like, get everyone excited. But you know how our brains work. We're going to go to best case scenario. We're like, oh, this is going to be sick. It's going to be this.
And
here's
it won't
what I
live
think.
up to it.
And it doesn't. Almost ever. You start seeing like theories online, and they almost always end up being better than,
because they sound cool and
Yeah.
probably aren't feasible. But, you know, you've given us that rope to go out and get creative and then be in turn very disappointed.
Yeah.
I know you're excited, but if it's not ready to show off, don't show it off. Like, I got burned on this really bad with Valheim. Like, I'm out on Valheim, and a lot of it was because of the sneak peek bullshit, because I got, like you said, I got way overexcited on things that they weren't going to deliver on and they couldn't deliver on. And they started doing sneak peeks because I think the community made them feel like they had to do something because they weren't producing enough
Put something
stuff
out there. Yeah.
Well, the answer is to work fucking harder and get stuff out. Don't just like, if the homework assignment is due on a certain date, the teacher wants it either, or they want it. They want the complete assignment. They don't want pieces and parts. They don't want like a screenshot of the corner where they can only see a couple of the words and you're like, oh, the paper's going to be great, teacher. No, just give me the full fucking essay when you're done with it so I can read it and judge it then. I've waited this long. I can wait a little bit longer. Get rid of this. Stop it. Stop the sneak peeks. Planet Crafter had a couple, but Planet Crafter they're not that bad because they do pump out shit. So if they do a sneak peek, it's like 3 days later, here's the actual shit.
When most of their stuff is just like, hey, this is up on the test server. We're planning on putting it up in a week. Check it out. Let us know your thoughts if there's anything to tweak. Like, and that's a lot. They do that a lot. Like, I think they're good at it. I think developers who do a sneak peek and then we're like, you're going to get this in 8 months. And you're like,
and that's how Valheim was doing
you.
it. They would do a sneak peek a month or two before the actual like post regarding the update. And then the update would still be 2 months out.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
fuck
too much.
you guys.
Don't get me excited 2 months in advance at all, ever. It's real hard to keep me excited about something.
Yes.
I do think Starfield did it well when they did their huge long, here's our sneak preview of like all of the playing stuff, and they were showing us gameplay.
They were unrolling
that was
so
done
fast,
well because they were like, this is what's in there right now. Like, check this out, and this is our plan. And then the game's out in 2 months. Like, I thought they did a good job with it.
And that's different, dude. That's not early access. I haven't slapped leather for that already. Like
Yeah,
that's the
that's true.
difference. Is I've paid for this product and I want you to go out and work on it and do a good job. I don't want you to string me along.
Yeah. Okay, I got one. This one's a little less serious, but it always strikes me as interesting. How come the only body part physics we see are boob physics? Boobs are so bouncy in games, but you never see there's every game with boob physics has a big fat character. You never see that belly jiggling. You never see them bouncing around in the player menu
I've never
and their
seen
belly's
twerking in a
just like
video game.
boom, boom,
Never seen
boom.
twerking once.
This
Hey,
is
in defense, Stitch's stomach would bounce in a disgusting
not
fashion.
like the boob physics.
No,
We don't-
not as much time or detail has been spent on those.
No, and like a dong physics. Like I've played a couple games where the guy's wearing a little wrestling singlet or a speedo or something. I'm not
Mhm.
seeing any bounce. Even those package looks huge. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, if you're gonna add body physics, I do want to see belly jiggle physics. I think
I
that's
want to
funny.
see dong bounce.
I want to see.
I want to see twerking ass. I want to see dumpster truck asses.
They're
jiggling.
out there too. Like they're out there in games, but it's only the boobs that jiggle.
Mhm.
Nothing else is so jiggly as the boobs. And like
Hell, make it like be open. Like give me those. Well, here in Utah we call them Relief Society arms. What are those called?
oh gosh, I used to know a name for it.
Yeah, the
Well, those
the
when you got that like
flabby
old
underarms.
teacher who like their flabby
Yeah.
underarms like
turkey arms.
yeah,
What are those
turkey arm.
fucking called?
I bet there's some good names online for it. Yeah, get some arm jiggle stuff. Just add more. I think it's funnier. When it's just boobs, I'm like kind of grossed out by like the perviness of it. But when it's other stuff too, I'm like, this is pretty funny. Even though the belly jiggle can be kind of gross, but like it's also kind of funny.
Bat wings. Bingo wings. That's what I've heard them called.
Bingo wings.
Bingo wings, because they're the ladies yelling bingo.
Yeah. Bingo.
and
Digga,
they're
digga, digga, digga,
fucking-
digga. Why don't we ever see
Why don't we
bingo
see
wings
bingo
in
wing
games?
physics.
Honestly, that would be
We're talking to
great.
an old person and their gizzards just like flapping, and you're like, I can focus on is that. That's I'm so sorry. That's what I'm
Yes.
staring at now. I want to see that in a game. Until we do, it's going to be Uncanny Valley. I want to see that little flap wiggling. I just want to see wiggling. More wiggling. Peterson's right. Not just
Yeah.
the tits.
Yeah, it's just weird when it's just boobs.
All right. Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's pretty good on my end.
Okay, yeah, I'm good. Well, I do have one more. It'll
Do
be
it.
very, very brief. I want you to stop not allowing for custom button mapping. Every game should have custom button mapping. I should be able to map every single action to a single button and just break it. Like, I don't care. Just let me map my own custom button mappings, and maybe it breaks the game or not. But that is the most frustrating thing for me, especially in terms of accessibility. That we can't change things like that. I just
And when you
make that
do add it in, make it make your button mapping. So I've seen some that are very good where it's like you're mapping this to this. It's gonna change this thing. Like, are you good with that? Yes. I've also done a couple where I accidentally mapped something, and then I would be like, "Oh, my left mouse click now does nothing." And I'm like in the middle of a game, and I'm like, it doesn't work now.
Oh,
Yeah, I've done that before because sometimes it's like accidental. It's like so easy.
Yeah.
You just like scroll over something and click, and it's like, okay, that's your new button now. Yeah, but yeah, button mapping should be again at this point in gaming history, that should be pretty standard.
Yeah, and I don't even care if it's good. Like you're saying, let's make it good and clear. And I'm like, at this point, it should just be standard across the board. Doing it well is that's bonus.
You should just be able to do it for anything.
Yeah.
If there's controller support, there should be button mapping. If there is not controller support, there should be button mapping. Like this should be, you're right. That should be absolutely standard, especially for PC games where you have like gaming mouses and stuff like that.
And you can play on a number of different paths. You can play on anything you want.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, let's roll up to dice.
Okay.
Dice of destiny.
Okie doke, Dice of Destiny is this game we play at the end of every episode. We roll a 6-sided dice to see who will be responsible for rolling the Dice of Destiny itself. A 20-sided dice with 20 different game genres assigned to it. They then roll a 6-sided dice to find out their budget. Then they find a game in that price range, in that genre, pick it, play it, and review it. Last week, while I was driving back from Wendover, I gave a okay-ish review for Shadows of Over Loathing, but it's not too different from West of Loathing. So if you like that, you'll like this. But I also re-rolled. Uh-oh, had to play another one. I re-rolled a peaceful, relaxing game, and I knew what I was getting right off the bat. It's a new game that just came out called Fae Farm, F-A-E Farm. And hot damn, was I right? Hot damn. Actually, how much does it cost? Are you looking it up right now?
$40.
Costs $40. I'd say it's kind of worth it. So far I have put I think 13 hours, 12 or 13 hours into it so far.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it, to say the least. It is, like I kind of talked about already, follows in the exact same vein of Stardew Valley. You show up in a village, you meet the people, you start a farm, and then there's like a crazy cave that you go down the layers of to get resources that help expand your farm, make you money, all this other shit. You fish, the fishing is in it is dope. You make stuff, you farm, you raise animals. Of course, I've got some bees. I will review it more in detail next week when I've probably not beaten it, but played it for probably another 10, 15 hours.
Time.
I absolutely adore this game. I can't imagine a single thing happening that would make me change my mind on that. And I can't wait to talk more about it next week. But
Sick.
It is fantastic. It's Fae Farm. It's an Epic game. Epic Games made this or some shit. So I think I was like, damn, could I have gotten this on EGS? Maybe it'll be on EGS for free one of these days. It seemed like a Game Pass game, honestly. I'm glad I own it because it's a game that I'm sure it'd be great on the deck. I've had trouble logging into my deck lately, which has been really annoying.
Oh, that's not good. I used mine a ton on the cruise.
Irritating. I switched back and forth between my account and Jenna's, and something just went borky with it, and it wouldn't recognize my password anymore. So I don't know, but it would be great on the deck if you have a functioning deck that works. So yeah, Fae Farm. I'll be playing it more and talking about it next week.
Tight.
All right. That's it. That's the whole kit and caboodle. We've got, in honor of our boy Donald Mustard, we have the Fortnite menu theme.
Nice.
I don't know if this is the Peterson. You'd have to tell me if this is the current menu theme or not.
Ooh, I haven't played for a little while, but it is the Fortnite menu theme.
Yeah, because I remember this. This is what it was when we used to play.
Yeah.
When we were playing.
Hey, that's when we had Musty D on the show.
Mm-hmm. That's a Fortnite we know.
Honestly,
the Founders Edition shit.
He likes the name Musty D as well. I'm pretty sure. So
yeah,
I will continue to call him.
I'm sure that's why he has never been back on the show or responded to our emails.
He listened to the one episode where I called him Musty D, and he was like, "What did he call me?
What that motherfucker say?" That's why he quit. He's gonna take some time, get real buff, and then go beat the shit out of Peterson.
He's looking for me. Him and Sanderson together are looking for me. I hope so, honestly.
And wail on you. Sanderson's like 6'5", so look out, dude.
6'5",
you like an orc.
350 pounds.
Yeah, he's gonna whomp you.
Honestly, that'd be great.
I've had dreams like this. All right, I'm JD logging off,
and this is Peterson going AFK. All right.
Ooh, well, we got